York State, the sheriff in Ulster County made a public statement that he encouraged and urged private citizens who were legally able to carry a firearm with them to do so when they left their homes for their own protection, their own defense, and the defense of those around them. And since he made that statement, sheriffs across the state have been joining that call and echoing that call. And we have seen this all over the country as sheriffs from all over the country are echoing the call for all citizens who are legally able to carry firearms with them to do so when they leave their house for self-defense and self-protection. Now, I want to ask a question to firearms owners first. If you are a firearms owner and you do not carry your firearm with you when you leave your house, but you have the ability to. You live in a state where it's legal and you don't need to be licensed, or you live in a state that requires a license and you have a license, but you are currently not carrying with you. Why not? Now is the time to start. Get over whatever bugaboo you have that is keeping you from carrying it with you wherever you go and start to carry. You do not get a do-over if a random or determined act of violence comes your way. You need to have that firearm with you. If you are somebody who doesn't have a moral objection to a firearm, but you just don't have one, you don't want one, now is the time to get one. You need to have a firearm, because whatever is holding you up from getting that, believe me, if a random or determined act of violence comes to you, the person that is executing that random or determined act of violence is not going to care that you didn't get a firearm. They're not going to put theirs down to make it a fair fight. They will come and use their firearm against you, whether you have one to defend yourself or not. So don't you think it would be better to have a firearm so that you can defend yourself and be on equal terms? That is why firearms are the great equalizer. And finally, a message to those who have a moral objection to firearms. You do not want to own one because you hate firearms. You despise them. Let me give you a clue. It doesn't matter that you don't like them. Somebody can use one on you and harm you or kill you or harm your family or kill your family, and they're not going to care that you hate firearms. That's not going to be some magic blanket to protect you. They do not share your moral objection. Criminals, in many cases, by their very nature, are violent. And what we have seen around the country is violence being executed on law-abiding citizens who may or may not have had a moral objection to firearms. We don't know, but I know that the people shooting them sure didn't stop to ask and then say, oh, you don't like firearms? Okay, I won't shoot you then. That's not how it's going to work. Get over your moral objection, because getting beaten, raped, killed, maimed, whatever the case may be, or having that happen to your family members, your friends, or the people around you, does not put you on some moral high ground versus someone who had a gun and was able to defend themselves. And I guarantee you, at the moment that random or determined act of violence comes to you, nobody, and I mean nobody, no matter how objectionable to firearms they are, nobody in that situation says, oh, I am so glad that I didn't choose to have a firearm in this situation. I feel so much better about myself. No, they don't. They feel really dead about themselves is usually how they feel. Or I guarantee what's going through their mind is, I was a fool and I wish I had a firearm to answer back to that firearm. Because as I said earlier, firearms are the great equalizer. A 100-pound woman versus a 300-pound man in a fist fight or a fight with bats or whatever, that 100-pound woman is going to get a mud hole stomped in her. But when they each have a firearm, that 100-pound woman is able to defend herself against that large man who's attacking her. Firearms are not the devil, they are a tool. They can be used in an evil way, the same as a hammer or a saw or a screwdriver or a kitchen knife. Okay? Assigning evil intent to an inanimate object does not make you morally superior. It makes you a fool, and it's going to make you a victim at some point. So please, if you have a moral objection to firearms, get over yourself, get one, learn to use it, get the proper training, and then have it for self-defense. You will probably find, one, that they're a lot of fun, two, that they're not really as dangerous as you thought they were. There's no boogeyman that thing's not going to take over on its own and come after you. It is as safe as the person who is operating it is. So you might just learn that you'll get over that irrational fear you have. Ladies and gentlemen, I encourage you, I urge you to call your sheriff, no matter what state, no matter what area you live in. Call your sheriff and ask if they stand with the sheriffs across the state and across the country who are encouraging and urging those citizens who are legally able to carry a firearm with them wherever they go to do so for their self-defense and their self-protection and the self-defense and protection of those around them. Make that call, and if your sheriff says no, ask why. Ask what possible objection your sheriff has to somebody who is already legally licensed and legally able to carry a firearm with them. If your sheriff has an objection to citizens being armed, then you probably need a new sheriff. Thank you so much for watching, folks. I'm Howard from VP Prepping and Survival. If you like what you see, click that subscribe button. As always, you can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, Tumblr, and of course right here on YouTube if you want to check out my channel. Remember, in any survival situation, you don't just want to survive, you want to thrive. Happy shooting, everybody.